Okay, welcome aboard and welcome back. This week we're going to start looking at SimBrief. I'll put the link in the description below, but this is the front page. If you just click on here, you can describe what it is. So it's a virtual flight planning service designed for flight simulation hobbyists looking to take their flights to the next level, it says, and it recommends that you register and then you gain access to web-based dispatching systems. Then you get flight fuel planning, weather forecasts, current NOTAMs, etc, etc. So I totally recommend that you register. So that's what we're going to do now. So you just go to the middle tab here and click on create an account, and we'll register now. So we'll fill all those details in and it'll send an email to you to confirm your address. So I'm going to do that now, and I'll come back when I've finished. Okay, so I've set up an account and confirmed the email and started up the front page, and this is what we get to start with. Whole lots of little tabs here and some more down here. We'll go through these one at a time, but I think what we'll start with my fleet. So we'll set up the aircraft that we're going to be flying. So if you click on that, and then we got go to new airframe, and we want to find the 737-800. So we click on that little drop down box there, and then you are looking for B738. Find it. There we go. Just click on that and then press proceed. Okay, so here we are. We've got aircraft to set up now. Some options. We don't need to be concerned with all of them. There's a couple we can just look at. The registration number, you can change that if you like. So I'll just change mine to 231 Whiskey Bravo, and the VIN number to match. The CellCal code and the ICAO mode code here, S code, will be filled in for you if you're interested. There's some Wikipedia information on the CellCal code and the mode S code if you want to look that up. These details are filled in for you. We don't need to be worried about that. Now the bit at the bottom here we need to change, or change if you want to. I'm setting my aircraft up for a mixed class cabin, so that would have 160 passengers. So I'm just going to change that to 160. And I want the weight units to be in kilograms. The empty weight or dry operating weight I want to be 42,991 kilograms. So I'm changing that. The max zero fuel weight I want to be 61,689 kilograms. Max takeoff weight 78,741. Max landing weight is 66,361, which is already got there. And okay, the passenger weight here, you can either set it up for an average weight of a passenger including their baggage, or you can set it up with just the average weight of a passenger and then set up the baggage at a separate occasion in the cargo. On this occasion I'm just going to leave it in the DeVault here, 104 kilograms, which includes the weight of a passenger and their bags. The fuel factor, as the engines get older, they obviously use more fuel, and so they need to adjust the fuel factor to account for that. But we're going to assume we've got a brand new aircraft, and so it's 0. The cost index is a way that the airlines balance time costs and fuel costs. We could talk about it a bit more later if you wanted to, but basically they work out the costs of paying for their flight crew and cabin crew, and the alley maintenance costs and any leasing costs balanced with the price of the fuel. So obviously if they want the flight to go quicker, they're going to have to pay more for fuel, but less for time costs. If they want the flight to go slower, then they obviously pay more for the cabin crew and maintenance costs, but less for the fuel. So it's a balancing act. But we'll leave that for auto at the moment, and we'll adjust it on each particular flight. So I think that's all we need to do really for that. So you can save your aircraft. So it says your aircraft's been saved, and we can go back to the top here. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the tabs at the top here now. First of all, I'd like to draw your attention to the user guide, which is really good. One of the good parts about it is the interactive sample here, which you can look at. This will be your flight plan, which will be issued once you've set up a flight, and you can hover over all of these different parts and it tells you exactly what they are. So it's a very good way of learning, so I recommend you have a look at that. And also the user page, user guide itself tells you all the different parts, and so it's a good way of learning. So let's go back to the top page. So let's look at a new flight. So this will be the one you'll be pressing on to set up a new flight, or you can click on the big tab on there. And so here we are. So the first thing we want to do is to incorporate our aircraft that we've already set up. So you can either the ones that you've set up, your fleet, will be at the top, and then all the other ones are down below. So you can choose a different one if you want to, but we'll choose the one that we set up earlier, and you can see it imports lots of the details that we put into that one there to start you off. Make sure the units be in kilograms, because that's what we're going to be using. And then you can put in an airline if you wish, and a flight number, and where you want to depart and arrive, your destination. So we go from Prestwick, and we go to Stansted, and it automatically puts in an alternate for you, and you can choose a different one if you wish. And if you hover over the little cloud at the top here, it gives you the weather at those different locations. So if you can remember our METARs, it shows you that it looks like it's calm at Prestwick, good visibility. Got few clouds at 3,800, and it's 8 degrees. And then at Stansted, it looks like it's 14 knots from 050. Again, good visibility, no clouds, 9 degrees. So the weather's not too bad at your departure and arrival locations. Then you can put the date that you want to set up for and the time. we've got your airframe. Some of these details have been put in for you. Remember, the fuel factor we decided was going to be 0. These will be done automatically for you. Again, the cost index, you can leave it as auto, or you can set it up to something that you want. It puts in your registration and your FIN number, and these details here will be selected if you need them. Optional entries, you can fill this in, and passengers, I think we said was a maximum of 160 on an aircraft, but it varies obviously from flight to flight, so you can set that up. And if you decided to separate out the passenger weight from the baggage weight, this is where you'd add it in. So it'd be your baggage weight then plus other cargo that you'd be carrying, so you could put it into that section there. And the 0 fuel weight, again, you can add that in there. But we're looking at all these things when we look at weight and balance and things next week. And then once you've filled all those details in, then you can analyze the route that it sets up for you. This is the route it's suggesting, and this should show you the AirAC cycle you've got. Now I've got the Navigraph subscription, so I've got the latest one, but this comes with a default one, which I think is something like 18. I think I've just increased it to 1801 or something like that. So your AirAC cycle will be different if you haven't got the Navigraph subscription. So once you've done this, once set it all up here, you have to analyze the route to make sure it's valid for the AirAC that you've got. So if you click on that, and it says the route is valid. If the route isn't valid, then you can choose another one from over here. I don't know if all these ones are valid. Let me just check another one. That one's valid. That one's valid. So they all seem to be valid. So if with your AirAC cycle that you've got, you get one that's not valid, then try another one over here. Okay, and then once you've done all that, then you have to generate the flight plan. So just click on that. It takes a little while. Okay, so and here's the your flight plan, all filled in for you. And again, this is all the details that you can look at with that interactive flight plan, and you can work out which all these things are. But we'll be doing one shortly, a proper flight, and we'll be going through it then. So you can see there's the cost index there. They've made it it's on the auto one, they've made it 54, but we're going through all these different things and seeing what they are. But I certainly recommend that you have a look at that interactive one and try and work it out what it is yourself before we start doing a proper flight plan. Okay, so that's your new flight. And then once you've got some flights, then you can click on here and edit them. Your briefings, you can look at your briefings, previous flights you can look at, and then obviously we've got to that one. So that's a quick overview of the sim brief. So next week I'm going to be looking at weight and balance, and looking at some of the terms here. This is ZFW and the other ones that we saw earlier when we set up the aircraft, and explaining what they are, and then then talking about the amount of passengers you can carry and your cargo, etc. Before you set up your flight. And then we'll be setting up a proper flight and going through all the different parts here and seeing exactly what they are before we then enter all the details into our CDU on the aircraft. So Hope to see you next week.